Hello, my name is Simon Goldberg and I'm a Blockchain Specialist Solutions Architect at AWS. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Amazon Managed Blockchain Query to retrieve historical transaction details for a given wallet address or for a specific contract. Let's get started. Amazon Managed Blockchain Query, or AMB Query for short, provides serverless access to multi-blockchain datasets with developer-friendly APIs. This allows you to retrieve data from blockchains like Ethereum and Bitcoin without having to worry about parsing the data, tracing smart contracts, or maintaining specialized indexing infrastructure. AMB Query abstracts away the underlying complexity and enables you to easily and quickly retrieve blockchain data for your application. The List Transactions API enables several use cases, such as populating a user interface with transaction history for blockchain wallet applications. For example, you can use the List Transactions API to retrieve a list of transactions for a given externally owned address or smart contract on the Ethereum mainnet and then display the data on your user interface. Before we take a look at a code example, let's first go over the prerequisite steps. If you would like to follow along with this code example, make sure that you have Python installed on your machine along with the AWS SDK for Python called Bo23. Additionally, install the AWS command line interface and configure your IAM user's credentials with the AWS configure command. Make sure that this user has the appropriate IAM permissions for interacting with the Amazon Managed Blockchain Query service. This Python example uses modules from Bo23 to send requests to the AMB Query List Transactions API. This example retrieves a list of transactions for a given address on the Bitcoin mainnet. To use Bo23, you must first import it and indicate which service you are going to use. After you have created a Managed Blockchain Query resource, you can specify the API to call and pass in the relevant parameters, in this case, the address and the network. I would like to point out that this Bitcoin address has only received one transaction in its history. Let's take a look at the output. As you can see, the code has returned a single transaction hash, the specified network, and the transaction timestamp. Let's now take a look at an example that retrieves the transaction history for a given Ethereum address. Similar to the last example, I have specified an address and network parameter. The only difference in this code is that I have a simple loop to print the results in a more human-readable format. As you can see, I have a list of transactions with the specified transaction hash, network, and timestamp up to the exact second. In conclusion, AMB Query's List Transactions is a powerful API for any developer working with blockchain data. AMB Query abstracts away the underlying complexity that is needed to retrieve blockchain data such as historical Ethereum and Bitcoin transactions. That is all for today's video. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of AMB Query's List Transactions API and how it can be utilized to retrieve historical transaction information. If you are interested in learning more about AMB Query, please refer to the links in the description. Happy development!